In this session, I would like to show you how to make a program in which we do a service scan, a regional scan, and also grab an image of two positions in one sample. I would like to first start with opening the manual window and find those two positions that I would like to analyze and then save them. In order to show you where in my sample I am performing the analysis, I want to open optical imaging and click on view. In order to see the image, I'll go to window, real-time display, and then here on the left-hand side, you can see where in my sample I'm performing the analysis. So first, I would like to perform an analysis on the delta point. Then I open the table and write delta here. And then update. Then I move my sample to another position. Let's go to, for instance, W, and also update this row. So now I have two positions on my sample that I have saved and I would like to perform the analysis on. I first close this, can start working on the program in the main window. I first go to the state change and then choose sample position. Here is where I can load my position table and assign name to each position for the saving of the file. So I press load position table, and as you can see, delta and W is now loaded in the table here. Then I can select a dataset name for them. I go to my folder and I start with calling the first one as delta. Okay. And second one as W. Then I paste this sample positioning to the main window by using the middlemost button. Afterwards, after finding the position, I want the program to perform three types of analysis. First, I wanted to do a service scan. I start with the standby control and I want the action on completion to be left on, because after this service scan, I'm going to perform a regional scan and I don't want the X-ray gun to go to standby. For the mode, I choose spectrum, lens hybrid, my sample is not magnetic. For the resolution, I go to the highest pass energy, 160, because I'm going to do a full service scan and I am not interested in very high resolution scanning. And also for the aperture, I have chosen slot mode because I want a large area to be scanned. For the excitation, I choose the X-ray gun. I am using a monochromatic aluminum source. For my emission current, I choose 10 milliamps and anode current 10 kV. Neutralizer, since my sample is conductive, I don't need to use the neutralizer, so I put it switch off. Or if I also leave it under manual control, since it is off already, it will remain off as well. In the scan control, my technique is XPS. For the type, I choose spectrum. I'm interested in binding energy and my reference is monochromatic aluminum. In the energy regions table, I type survey and click enter. Then as you can see, the parameters are shown automatically. I can change here according to my needs and I can leave the other things untouched. Normally, what is loaded here is what we need. The only thing that we might need to change is number of sweeps. Number of sweeps is the number of times that the program perform a scan in the region of interest, and the average of those scans will be shown to you and will be reported. It is important to use larger number of sweeps when we have a lot of noise or when our pass energy is not that high. So in this case, 2 sweeps is enough for me because I'm using a high pass energy and also I'm scanning a full spectrum. When this is finished, using the middlemost button, I click and paste it over here. For the next one, I want to perform regional scan using 2 elements, copper and gold. If I change something here at the moment, since this block is selected, this block will be changed. If I want to import a new block, I have to left click on the center or in a blank part of this window. So the acquisition block is deselected, and whatever I change here will be for the new block that I'm going to paste here. So in this case, action on completion, I want it to be left on. For the mode, I would like to choose a spectrum lens hybrid. For the resolution, I want to use lower pass energy because I'm interested in regional scan. Similarly, my source is aluminum, emission current 10, and anode voltage is 10 kV. Neutralizer is off. Technique is XPS, type spectrum, binding energy, and my reference is monochromated aluminum. In the energy regions table, I first clear all the rows and then start putting my elements here. I start with the element that has the highest binding energy. In this case, copper 2p has higher pass energy or higher binding energy than gold. Then I press on this row and put gold, and then this is almost ready. If you know that you have some shifts in your binding energy, you would like to change these parameter, the width or the center of your regional scan. And also you can change the step size. In this case, the important thing is that I have enough number of sweeps that my signal to noise ratio is high. So I put, for instance, 5 sweeps here and 5 sweeps for gold because I already know from before that these 2 elements give a very big peak with high signal to noise ratio. So I don't need to put more sweeps. If you have more noise, you just increase the number of sweeps. When I'm happy with this, I can paste it over to the program and then go for the next one. Then I also click on the middle here. So this block is deselected. And also I put a new acquisition for grabbing an image. First, I clear all the rows here. Then I start from the top. Standby control, action on completion. I want it to go to standby because this is going to be my last acquisition. Then the mode, I'm doing imaging. Here I have to choose another lens type for grabbing an image. In this case, I'm using field of view number 3. If you were not sure that which lens mode, pass energy, or aperture you need to choose, you can always go to a PDF file on the desktop called DLD cheat sheet. In that PDF, where I will open it right now and bring it over here, you can find out different parameters for each and every type of condition that you want to use. For instance, if you want to do a large area scan, which is 300 to 700 micrometer. If you want to do a survey, you need, and your sample is not magnetic, use hybrid lens, passage 106, step size of 1 electrovolt, and then the time is between 1 to 3 minutes. If, for instance, you want to do imaging and your imaging is elemental and you want highest lateral resolution, you use field of view 3, pass energy of 160, and the time is going to be between 2 to 8 minutes. We go back to our program. Now we have chosen field of view number 3. We are choosing pass energy of 160, and for aperture, we are using high resolution image. Similarly, the excitation would be monochromatic aluminum with 10 and 10 for emission current and voltage. Then we come to the scan control. Here you have the technique XPS. The type is map, binding energy, and reference is monochromatic aluminum. For region name, we start first with copper. Here, the center of acquisition would be at 948. In this case, I know from before that my highest peak is going to be at 930.6. If you are unsure of this, you can perform one acquisition before and find your peaks, and then grab the image afterwards when you are sure that you have the correct place or correct position for your center of acquisition. Then I press enter. For number of sweeps, I want 2 sweeps. And here you can also change the dwell time. The higher the dwell time, the longer it takes, but you're gonna have more integrated images and it's going to take longer time for acquisition. Then I go to the gold for F. In this case, I know that my peak will be at 48. Then I put 2 sweeps. Perfect. Now I can paste this into my program. Now this is finished. This will be done for only one position. I wanted to perform the same thing for the next position as well. Start with delta and then go to the W. Here, I need to add a counter. I go to stand change, press counter, and here it shows the number of cycles. Here you have tell the program how many times you want to perform these 3 acquisitions. We have 2 positions, delta and W, meaning that when this is finished, I want the counter to go back only once and perform the test. So if I go to the counter, I press 1 here, and then I paste this one here, the counter. Then I grab and select all of these, right click, and then press loop back. As you can see, it has created a loop which will be cycled only once more than the first time that it passes. So when the program starts, it go and perform 3 analysis and then reach the counter. The counter tells it to go back. It goes back. It goes to the second position by itself and then perform this, reach the counter. There's no more counts. So it just goes down and finishes the program. Now, since my system is Q active and the automatic mode is orange, I can submit my program. Otherwise, if it was in manual mode, I had to click resume button here. Now I can press submit and let my program to start. I can open the real-time display window so you guys can see what is happening. As you can see, it moved to delta point on the first go. And if I click on the follow, it will show in what state my program is. It is now performing the survey at the delta point at position number 1.